to have you back. So, still back to you, of course, as we've seen last month, Nigerians took to the streets to protest against poverty, against hunger, against bad governance, and along the line, some of the protesters were arrested and are currently being arraigned for different charges, terrorism, and all of that. And again, of course, we got to see that they were granted bail, the sum of, I think, 10 million naira each for the 10 of them. But now, of course, in the report, the activists had all come together to ask for their release. But before we went on this break, we actually had said something about protest being a human right. Every Nigerian, and even before this protest started, I think there was that reassurance that we had from different, even from the federal government themselves, coming out to state that protest is actually your right. You have the right to protest. So far it is law abiding. Don't go out. But again, now we see that some of the protesters were arrested and are currently arraigned for different charges. Do you see this being an issue as regards to further, or Nigerians wanting to take this step in coming out to stand against what is not right, looking at these incidents that is going on right now?
Well, that arresting peaceful protesters can never debar or discourage Nigerians from protesting. He cannot, because it's the right of, it's a global citizen right. All over the world, as I've said before, is the potent tool, strongest tool the citizens use to fight and prevail on government to change harsh policy that is working against their well-being. Except the government wants the citizen to go into insurrection, to take up arms. And that is why serious government, especially in democracy, they don't tamper with protesters, especially peaceful protesters. When they are conducted themselves peacefully, you allow them to carry out their protests peacefully. And I will make reference to President Tinubu again. He is known for protest now. Even Shehu Sani said so, that he said it on public television that, sir, you were one of those, or you were the one mobilizing us to protest. You are a master of protest. He appealed to the president on television that release those people that were arrested for protest. So it's so strange for me to be seeing somebody like the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be a president of this country, and we allow peaceful protesters to be arrested, because we have this video everywhere where he used to protest in Abuja with Buhari, with Osinbajo, with even Papa Adeboye, who had a placard in the front. Papa Adeboye was in the front, had placard asking Jonathan government to better the lot of Nigeria. Did Jonathan arrested that time and branded as people who are committing treason? The answer is no. So it's disheartening to be seeing this kind of practice under a democratic government, especially for President Tinubu, who was a member of NADECO, who fought for the annulment of June 12th. At that time, I didn't expect this kind of practice under his government. And the people who are under who are in his government, who are a media practitioners, when they were in the opposition there, I wonder how the kind of advice they are giving to the president. Because if they are giving the right advice to the president, I don't think that this measure being taken under his government will happen. It's strange. It is the right of citizens to protest. And when they are protesting, it is government that's supposed to ensure that a delegate police officer to guide them, to lead the protest to be peaceful. So what offense have they committed now? Are they saying that when Nigerians are being pushed to the wall, a bag of rice is now being sold for 85,000 naira, something that was 7,000 when they were in the opposition, and they said that Nigeria were suffering that time. Now that a bag of rice is being sold for 87,000, What is the government of Tinubu saying? Are we smiling now? And Nigeria happy now? And Nigeria enjoying now? When a liter of petrol was 87 naira, they said Nigerians were suffering. Now that is 1,200, and Nigeria enjoying now. Are they telling us? Because at that time they told us that if Nigeria voted for them, that a liter of fuel will be 14 naira. How much is it today? So at that time they were protesting. Were they deceiving Nigeria? That means they were deceiving Nigeria. They had the ulterior motive there that when they enter, they will suffer Nigeria. That's what it means. Because if they were allowed to protest at that time when a liter of fuel was 87 naira and they were not arrested, when a bag of rice was 7,000 naira and the government of the day at that time did not arrest them, why are they arresting citizens now that they are buying a liter of fuel for 1,200? Why are they arresting protesters now when a bag of rice is being sold for 85,000? Why are they arresting protesters now when a liter of diesel is being sold for 1,600 naira? Why are they arresting Nigeria now when a kilogram of gas that was 300 naira in 2015 is now 1,200 naira? Are things better for Nigeria now? There is no basis for arresting anybody. As long as they have protested peacefully, they did not engage in destroying any property. What is the basis of arresting them? Okay. Because this arrest has portrayed this government as a military government. That's what it means.
Let's not forget the fact that in some states, especially some states in the northern part of Nigeria, Kano, Kaduna, let's not forget the fact that the protests, had taken a different dimension as regards to, I think, like in Kaduna, for instance, some military police officers were armed and injured, and then we also had in Kano and some other states where goods were looted and all of that, and the damages took place. So don't you also think? And then of course we also had some states who were also calling a foreign country to come in and take control of the country. We also had people calling in for the military rule. All of these happened in different states across Nigeria as regards or during the protest as it is, because right now we don't know if they were actually doing that as part of the protest or it was a different agenda. But of course, I just want us to also look at it from that angle as well, because looking at the charges tabled against them, we had attempting to destabilize Nigeria, we had them seeking to remove the president, waging war against the government, inciting mutiny, and other reasons. Now, looking at that dimension of how the protest took place in those other states, do you think that this is the right step?
Please, you say they were calling for mutiny, they were calling for... Were the people, was it these people that were arrested that were calling for mutiny? And again, can ordinary citizen with bad hand take over government? There are certain things that a government should not be making mention of now. It makes a government become a laughing stock. How can you say because people protested peacefully they want to change government? Can a citizen without gun change government by protest? Is that possible? Tell me what one country where ordinary citizens have changed government with bare hands. With bare hands. Okay, the people that were arrested, were they the one calling for a change of government? No, were they? Okay, even though if the government was doing well, why would the citizens call for a change of government? No, tell me. Because they thought they think that we are all daft. We can't reason. If the government was doing well, people call for a change of government. People have the right to call for a change of government. It's because we are in a backward country. That's why a government will be in place to the end of the tenure when it's not performing well. Was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh not removed from office of recent? Through protests, when people are hungry, when people are suffering, what is the purpose of government when you cannot make life easy for the people? Is it because we are in Africa where somebody is not doing well, he say he must stay there? He have not even done well in 1 year. They are already talking about a second term. Is that a serious country? You are talking about second term. Now when in 1 year in government, people are crying, weeping. People cannot eat well. They change government everywhere is because of Africa that are not serious with government. That's why somebody who's not doing well want to stay to the end of his government and is thinking about second term. Is it done in other country? So if you are not doing well, why are you not changing your method? Tell me, look, if you introduce a policy that is inimical to the progress of your citizens, what do? You retract that policy. This policy of removing subsidy, of which that even President Tinubu, when he was in the opposition, he opposed it. He is not president, he is doing exactly even worse thing that the government that he protested against. How do you want the citizens to trust you? That means he was just deceiving Nigeria at that time when he was protesting. That's what he meant. For him to be the one talking about removing subsidy, something he stood against, it baffles me. It baffles me to my own bone. I have his video as I speak, where he vehemently stood against removal of subsidy. He has not even assumed office. He says subsidy is gone. Is that not deception of the masses? No, tell me. Is it because Nigeria are not asking questions? They just clap? So, an issue of saying they call for a change, there is no way ordinary citizen will just use bad hand to call for a change of government. And again, there's nothing wrong if people call for a change of government if government is not doing well. Even in that video, President Tinubu said that the government must go. He called for a revolution too. So was he wrong with those words there? Why didn't Jonathan arrest him when he was leading protest there? No, if Jonathan had arrested him and locked him up, would he be free? Or Jonathan didn't have the power to arrest him there? Wasn't Jonathan the commander-in-chief of the armed forces at that time? We should use our power very well, because power is very transient. Power does not last. Before you know now, this 4 years we go and Tinubu will become an ordinary citizen like every other person. That is why when you hold power, use it to better the lot of your people, and people will sing your praise. You don't use power to oppress people. Power belongs to God. It is only God that the way they are acting, now if God acts that way, can anybody live? The way people in government are behaving, using power, can anybody live if God operate the way they are operating? That is the question they should answer in their heart. That is the question they should answer in their heart. So everybody is crying in Nigeria today, just under 1 year. We have not entered second year, we have not entered 2 years old. 1 year of government. Is that if other PDP, if PDP led this country for 16 years, the way APC is leading Nigeria today, will anybody be alive? No answer. Will anybody be alive? In under 1 year, you remove subsidy. Under 1 year, you change the national anthem that will group billions of money, because they are going to prepare the national anthem to be sent to different ministries, send it to school. Do you know how many billions will go into that? Some people will become rich under that change of national anthem. Is that a priority? There is insecurity in Nigeria today. People cannot move freely. The first thing was to remove subsidy. Second thing, you change the national anthem. That will be grouping money. No, answer me. All university today now, they have increased their school fees. Parents are crying. I'm a parent. I have a student. School fees that was 20,000 in public school before has risen to 200,000. There are no jobs for people to do. Because of bad policy, companies are running out of the country. Okay, can somebody say that is a good government or a good policy? If a policy, they call it reform. These are not reforms. Right. Reforms are done to better processes, to better proceeding. What we have today cannot be defined as reforms, because any policy that is inimical to progress of people cannot be called or described as reform. They are not reforms. These are personal decisions taken, because reforms are usually discussed and they will look at the pros and cons. They will look at the positive and the negative aspect of the policy before they introduce it. And if they have made mistake, what do? in a serious country, they withdraw such policy and introduce new one. But we are being told that whether you protest or not, as if the Nigeria belong to one person, that whether you protest or not, so I'm not going to change. He doesn't own Nigeria. Without Nigeria voting for him, can he be there today? Okay, why was he not there 20 years or 10 years ago? Why was Tinubu not president? If Nigeria did not vote for him, will he be there? So we should be careful when we have power. The power is not for one person. Yeah, before you know it, now we leave that place, another person will take place. So the policy that is destroyed the economy, if somebody says it's a reform, it's not reform. No reform. How many women grinding pepper can be able to buy petrol today to power their grinding machine? How many weather?
All right. So lastly, before we wrap up the program, of course. So now the protesters, the case is in court. The arraignment, is still on the works. For now, the judicial system of Nigeria, how confident are you that the judiciary would be able to, give justice to this case?
Well, they have conscience. Conscience is the greatest instrument that controls human being. And if somebody is a judge or you are a lawyer, and you listen to both sides of a coin, because when you have a case to adjudicate, you listen to this side, listen to this side. They will give their FASA figure. And when you look at the FASA figure, and one is overwhelming, the other one are limited, what do? You throw out the ones that are limited with FAS. As I've said before, we are not going to preempt the judge or the court proceeding. We respect them, but I know that they will be guided by their conscience, knowing fully well that protest is a tool that is used all over the world to checkmate excesses of government. Nobody will be convicted for protests. And if there were destruction, where were the police where there were destruction? Where were the police officers? Where were security agencies? Is it the people that say, let us protest for against the hunger we are suffering in this country? You heard them, you hold them liable for the protest that took place, destructive protest that took place in another place? That will not be a good pronouncement. So I believe the judiciary, as we are told, is the last hope of the common man. So being the last hope of the common man, I know they have the conscience to take the right decision.
All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Victor Anya, who is a public affairs analyst and publisher of Prime Health News Magazine. Thank you so much for being with me in the studio today.
Many thanks for having me.
All right, and thank you so much to our viewers out there as well for being a part of the program. My name is Nenwai Ginozaka. I'm sure you enjoyed the conversation for today. Do well to keep updated with all the same times of station here in Dark City TV for more interesting conversations. As for now, goodbye.